Thanks for being here as always. It is Thursday. I almost got that wrong. That's a good way to start off the show. The 6th day of March. It's been a pretty one in the neighborhood weather-wise. It's not been a nice day for a lot of folks. We'll prove that fact with coverage of several auto accidents, 2 serious happening today. A serious head-on collision on Route 7 and a serious collision involving a vehicle and a utility pole just earlier this afternoon in the Lick Creek area, and a few details about a vehicle versus utility pole night before last in the Sayersville city limits. Indictments returned by a McGoffin County grand jury earlier today. I'll tell you what I can at this hour. We'll have some basketball scores, all in an effort for myself to try to make it to the Expo Center, of course, for tonight's Girls Action. Original plans were for me to be out of here, done early, and in time for the first game. At this point, I'm now a little worried that I'm going to make it for tip-off of the second game. Some breaking news that I've covered throughout the afternoon, of course, included in tonight's show, the main reason for that. So let's get right to it and talk about that and some other details and information that we have for you tonight, including a forecast which is still on the up and up. More sunshine, more 50s tomorrow, more temperatures climbing to near 60 for a few days on end. Some showers here and there, but all in all, it is a forecast unlike anything that we've had in a long, long time, and one I'm very glad to bring you. We will go out on a good note tonight, and I'll save the best for last with that. Now, before I was out for a couple of days, and Katie was sitting in for me, there was an event that was to be held over at the Big Sandy Community and Technical College walking track, and due to the weather that, of course, tore through and left us all in its wake, it was rescheduled. It has been rescheduled for this Tuesday. I'm just now learning. A press release has come into the office that tells us that this Tuesday, March the 11th, at the Big Sandy Community Technical College walking track over in Pressesburg is when they have now reset their Walk for Awareness. It's all in an effort to promote March as Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. They're going to start the program at 8 o'clock Tuesday morning with participants registering in the healing program at the tent. Can't miss it, and then walking as many laps as you desire up until 5 p.m. Now, if you've got any questions, I've got some phone numbers. I'll try to have some questions answered on tomorrow's program, but in the meantime, you can call 886-4397. There is a goal behind this program to create a world without sexual violence, one step, if you will, at a time. Covered it last night, and since I'm in a bit of a hurried fashion tonight to get all the news in, and then of course to the expo, just a reminder about garbage collection in McGoffin County for Ruppke customers and how it's a little bit askew due to the weather. So part of Wednesday's route was picked up on today, and then what drivers didn't get to today will be picked up on tomorrow, and then today's normal route is going to be picked up Friday. If they can't get to all of that, they'll finish it on Saturday, and then all of Friday's garbage collection will be picked up Saturday as well. So pretty much everything running a day behind, understandably so. So get your garbage out and get it off if you can. Well, we'll talk more about a series of auto accidents. We've all heard it, and some most often said it. When it rains, it pours. Well, it's poured in Sayersville, McGoffin County in relation to auto accidents. We'll get to that in just a second. Just a reminder, I don't want to forget it. I think I'll have it in the weather most certainly, but, just looking at the calendar, there are some significant things of note. Oh, I'm glad to tell you that daylight savings time begins this Sunday. You'll be setting those clocks up. Glad to hear. During the overnight hours when you go, hopefully, fast asleep Saturday night. St. Patty's Day is on March the 17th, and then spring does arrive on the 20th, just a few days thereafter. Will it feel like spring by the time spring gets here, or will the spring temperatures that we're enjoying now and for the next several days be long gone when winter return? May have a hint for you towards the latter part of the program, certainly a better one in a few days. For now, I'll be right back.
Catherine, I reckon I'll take my pig back.
Ain't your pig.
Yeah, it is.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, it is, and I can prove it. Ma, I just sent a picture of our missing pig. Tell everybody it's time to start feuding.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I guess ain't gonna be no feud. Real nice picture, though.
We'll put it on Instagram.
Appalachian Wireless is 4G. Great pictures, video, text, and talk. Bigger savings, better service. That's today's Appalachian Wireless. From time and money-saving services like their overdraft protection, telephone and online banking services, to finding the right home, college, or car loan, to personalized checking and savings accounts designed around your exact needs, Sayersville National Bank is still your best choice and the same locally owned and operated bank that's been looking out for your family's financial health since 1902. Sayersville National, restoring the piggy bank population one savings at a time.
Have you ever noticed how many insurance commercials and advertisements are on television nowadays? You can't watch your favorite program without seeing a little pig or green lizard trying to sell you insurance and get your money for their premiums. But let me ask you this. If you have been in a serious wreck, do you really think that you are in good hands of the insurance companies when you have lost wages, medical bills, and pain and suffering from your head to your toes? The answer is no. If you want to truly be in good hands, give me a call. I'm attorney Donald Wayne McFarland. Let me put my 20 years of experience in working to protect the rights of injured people to work for you. 349-9000.
If you're thinking it feels like spring is never going to get here, then stop in the seasonal shop in Sagersville where it's already sprung. They've got all the colors, styles, and all the collections of the season just bursting from home decor and dishware and table settings and so much more. Plus monogrammed and the most colorful of ways to say welcome. All this and so much more at Fraser's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop, just down from the drugstore and the Radio Shack. Faster, friendlier, family-owned Parkway Pharmacy, open 8:30 till 6:30 Monday through Friday in the new McGoffin Medical Plaza under the care of local pharmacist Jesse Rudd. To make Parkway Pharmacy your pharmacy, come by or give us a call at 349-4400.
Auto accidents to report to you include details of 3, beginning with a serious incident night before last in the Sagersville city limits. Police officer Mike Nichols of the Sagersville City Police Force tells me during a phone conversation earlier today that there were charges filed against the driver and one passenger of a vehicle that collided with a utility pole. He says it appears as though a high rate of speed was one of the contributing factors.
The other being that the driver behind the wheel of a white Crown Victoria traveling in this direction down Gardner Trail and onto Route 7 coming into Sagersville, according to eyewitnesses, and one of the passengers was traveling at 85 miles per hour or better. Officer Nichols says that he was called to respond to a vehicle accident with injuries at this location. His investigation, he says, reveals that the driver of the vehicle coming down this hill hit that dip right in that area, and upon doing so lost control. The vehicle then went into a slide, and where the vehicle went into a slide and came to a rest was a distance of about 365 feet or so right at this location, striking this utility pole next to Bailey's Furniture. He also says that utility pole next to it, which was not lying in that exact position, more than likely slowed the vehicle down enough to where the impact with that utility pole may have saved those inside from being much more severely injured. Nichols says that, according to eyewitnesses and other statements, the 3 individuals then left the scene of the accident and went to an apartment nearby, then returning without several items, including the keys to the vehicle. The driver, a Michael Bleeker, was charged with driving under the influence and leaving the scene of an accident. Another individual, Brian Austin Watson, was charged with leaving the scene of the accident and alcohol intoxication. A third individual was taken to an area hospital via ambulance. Then this morning, around 9 o'clock or so, this very, as you can very well see, serious head-on collision happened on Route 7. Near the District 3 Fire Department in that straight stretch before you would come to their facility. 2 vehicles collided nearly head-on. McGoffin County Sheriff's Deputy Jonathan Holbrook told me off camera that both drivers, which were both the only individuals in each vehicle, the pickup truck and the passenger car, stated to him that the operator of the passenger car, a younger female, said that she was on the wrong side of the road. She and the other driver, both indicating that was the fact, say that they both tried to avoid the collision, turning into the other lane around the same time, and both colliding on the passenger corners or sides, more so, as you can see there. Violent crash, serious damage done to both vehicles. The operator of the pickup truck, Randall Patrick, a former Sagersville police officer, was seriously injured. He was taken by ambulance to an area hospital for his injuries. He was talking, alert, and conscious, told me members of his family and EMS personnel on scene before he left in the ambulance. As for the operator of the vehicle, Kristen Howard, told authorities, as you heard, that she realized that she was in the opposite lane of traffic as she was heading towards school in the direction of Sagersville when she tried to avoid the collision at the same time as the pickup truck. The 2 collided on Route 7. And you can see the end result. Now, she was seriously injured, and she was also trapped inside the vehicle for a significant amount of time. She suffered a traumatic leg injury, and it took several
members of the rescue squad, the Jaws of Life, other cutting equipment to remove parts of the car that were holding her inside before she could be taken by ambulance to an established landing zone in the downtown Royalton area. From there, she was airlifted to a trauma center for the severity of her injuries, none of which appear to be life-threatening, but all of which would require the services provided by a trauma center. While this serious two-car head-on collision did result in Miss Howard once again being airlifted to a trauma center, the accident later on in the afternoon would involve another vehicle versus a utility pole. It very serious in nature. However, the injuries were not serious enough or life-threatening enough to warrant airlift to another facility. Instead, the victim was taken to the Paul B. Hall Medical Center by the TranStar Ambulance Service.
Approximately around 4 o'clock, 911 dispatch received a call on a injury accident on Lick Creek, probably about 6 miles from Sayersville, right before you get to Coon Creek intersection. On arrival, a vehicle driven by Patty Howard had dropped off the shoulder and struck a telephone pole and completely broke the pole in two, and then she went on about 30 feet on up the road. We rescue personnel and removed her on the backboard, and ambulance service got there, and then they were doing further evaluation. Could have been her left leg she was complaining of, and but she was alert and conscious and in good spirits when she left, and so glad there wasn't no further injury.
Howard had actually just left her daughter's residence and was headed home. About a half mile or less from her own residence, she dropped off the side of the road, overcorrected, and struck the utility pole. Conley says it appears as though she was unrestrained as she was thrown into the passenger side of the pickup truck where she was discovered. It was also told to emergency personnel that the truck nearly turned over in the midst of all of that, and had that happened, it could have been a much worse situation. From there, it's on to tonight's community calendar. We've still got a lot of other top headlines, so stay with us. But for now, let's find out what's happening. Brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. And we'll do it with a little reminder in the background that even though I had 56 degrees today here at the newsroom, 52 right now, and holding rather steady, still snow in a lot of places. And it's kind of half and half in front of the newsroom. If the sun didn't hit it, it's still there. A soup bean dinner tomorrow. You want to eat with them? Well, here's how you do it. Call 349-8637 or 205-4914. They'll deliver. You can eat with them or carry it out, but it's a wonderful soup bean dinner prepared by the wonderful folks of the Elk Creek Church as a fundraiser tomorrow, 9 to 5. A Friends of Coal rally featuring Jimmy Rose from America's Got Talent is this Saturday morning, 10 o'clock at the Pikeville High School Auditorium. This is a free admission event. Talking about, of course, coal keeping the lights on. And the next community blood drive in McGoffin County, and there is a shortage right now. We'll try to get some folks to tell us more about it next week. In lieu of that, you can be prepared to go donate blood and save lives. Tuesday the 11th, that's next Tuesday, noon to 5 at Hardin's Medical Plaza for our next McGoffin County Community Blood Drive. And a reminder, as we heard from League President Matthew Wireman yesterday, youth baseball and softball sign-ups are noon to 2 this Saturday at your Sagersville Dairy Queen. And, of course, that's for all leagues and all the ages, noon to 2, your Sagersville DQ. And that looks to be it for tonight's calendar. Sadly, though, we do go on with several funeral services, all brought to you on behalf of the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Beginning with still incomplete services at this hour, but those to be held in honor of 74-year-old Johnny D. Patrick of Lick Creek Road, who passed away on today's date. We know that he is survived by his wife, Beatrice Patrick, with arrangements still incomplete at this time, but to be announced soon by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Also from the McGoffin County Funeral Home, they tell us of the passing of 54-year-old Judy Literal Perkins of Urbana, Ohio, formerly of McGoffin County, who passed away on this Tuesday. She survived by her husband, Bill, her mother, 2 daughters, 1 sister, and 4 grandchildren. Funeral services are going to be conducted this Saturday at 1 o'clock from the New Life Worship Center on New Paintsville Road here in Sagersville. Burial is going to follow services in the Perkins Family Cemetery at Rock House. Friends can call on the McGoffin County Funeral Home after 6 o'clock tomorrow evening and any time Saturday at the church prior to services. And lastly, this evening from the Sagersville Funeral Home, 52-year-old Janice Lynn Marshall Reisner of Gardner Trail here in Sagersville passed away yesterday at her home. The daughter of Paul Marshall and the late Virginia Carpenter Marshall. She's also preceded in death by her husband, Willie Reisner. She was a homemaker and a devoted family friend and member of the family who is left to mourn by son Michael Reisner, son Willie Reisner, son Brandon Keith Reisner, and a host of other family and friends. Funeral services for Janice Reisner are to be conducted this Sunday, 1 o'clock from the Sagersville Funeral Home Chapel. Burial will follow thereafter in the Combs Family Cemetery on Elk Creek. The family welcomes friends Friday after 5 p.m. They'll continue to do so all day Saturday for visitation and prior to services once again on Sunday at the Sagersville Funeral Home.
At the end of every race, Mark Martin hangs up his driving gloves. He hangs up his fire suit. And he hangs up his helmet. Which is why he picks up his phone and opens the ER Extra app. The app shows ER Extra wait times, locations, and more. It's the one safeguard Mark Martin is never without. ER Extra at Paul B. Hall Regional Medical Center. Extra fast, extra easy, extra great.
Game time means wing time at Lee's, and that means it's time for you to try our new buffalo wings. I can't tell you our secret, but I can tell you they're marinated and then rolled in our famous, albeit a little spicy, crispy chicken batter and served up with any of our 7 delectable sauces. So get your hands on a meal or a box today at your Sagersville Lee's famous recipe, where no one does chicken like we do chicken. Always the best selection of hand-picked, quality, pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all with the service, prices, and financing aimed at making sure you drive off with the deal and vehicle you've been looking for. Premier Motors in Paintsville, 297-4121. The New Year's sales event rolls on at Conley's with 3.99% and up to $1,000 in rebates on new Polarises. Kawasaki's got 3.95% or save up to $1,500 in cash. And just in, Polaris Power digital inverter generators, ultra quiet and ultra affordable at Conley's, Kawasaki, and Polaris of Paintsville.
Hi, I'm Rodney Minnick, born and raised in McGoffin County. I wish to see my family and theirs one day grow old in a place I so love. But to live here and be safe, we need to put honor, experience, and confidence in the Sheriff's Department. A graduate of the Department of Criminal Justice Academy, I have 7 years of dedicated service to McGoffin and Johnson counties. And with your support, I would like to take that leadership straight to those responsible for selling drugs and stealing from our home. Please vote Rodney Minnick, Republican candidate for Sheriff of McGoffin County. Thank you.
The sitting McGoffin County Grand Jury has returned several indictments, 2 of which I can report to you at this hour, including that of a McGoffin County man who is already under arrest. He's been lodged in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center since the middle of January on serious sexual abuse-related charges. 31-year-old Michael Compton of McGoffin County was formally indicted, as was returned earlier today, on one charge of sexual abuse in the first degree, a Class C felony. The indictment alleging that on or around the 2nd day of June of last year and on another occasion in January of this year, he committed the offense of sexual abuse in the first degree when he subjected another person under the age of 12 to some sort of sexual act. Now, Compton was arrested in January by the Kentucky State Police per their investigation, and he has since been held in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. He was also charged with resisting arrest, menacing, disorderly conduct, and other charges, which he has all pled guilty to and given time served since his arrest on the 15th, that happening on January the 21st. But, of course, the most serious charge of sexual abuse in the first degree now has formally been returned in the matter of an indictment. His next court date was not given, but I can tell you that he is still jailed. The last bond information that I have available was on $10,000 cash. We'll have more indictments to report after they have been served or attempted to have been served on the individuals whose names are therein. But I can tell you that a Robert Counts with an address of either Ada, Ohio or Knoxville, Tennessee, has been indicted by a McGoffin County grand jury on a charge of theft by deception over $500. The indictment reads that on around the 26th day of April of last year, he committed these acts when he obtained property and or services from T&L Auto Services or Auto Sales and Keith Bailey of McGoffin County. He reportedly wrote a check in the amount of $1,130 for payment, knowing full well that it was a cold check at the time. His whereabouts, though, actually his whereabouts, date of birth, social security number, and other information remain unknown to local authorities. Well, finally, after a major 2-day delay due to obvious reasons, the 15th Region Basketball Tournament is underway at the Eastern Kentucky Exposition Center in Pikeville. And as I told you last night, it began last night with girls action, to be followed by more girls action tonight. In Game 1 last night, a matchup of Johnson Central, your 57th District champions, taking on the ladies of Betsy Lane. A win by Central 57-38 means Central advances by 1 on their season wins to 20 with 11 losses. That also means, of course, after the loss from Betsy Lane to Central, Central will advance to take on the winner of the second game last night, a matchup between Belfry and Pikeville. Now, as far as that game was concerned, pretty much an easy win for Pikeville, 47-31 over Belfry. Pikeville advances. They will play Central. Now, that game is the first game tomorrow night. More girls action tomorrow, set for 6:30. Now, the second game tomorrow night, which tip-off set for 8:15, is yet to be determined. First round tonight is Shelby Valley and Pike County Central at 6:30 for the ladies. And then in your second round, McGoffin County and the ladies from Allen Central. The winner of those two games, of course, making up the second half of a doubleheader tomorrow night for more girls action at the Eastern Kentucky Expo Center. So Shelby Valley and Pike Central, 6:30 tonight. Allen Central, McGoffin County following. Then girls matchups tomorrow night in the semifinals. And then it's back to boys, or at least starting with boys action on Saturday. And then Saturday, it's all boys starting in the afternoon, 1:30 in the afternoon, Pike Central and Prestonsburg, then 3, Johnson Central and East Ridge, and then at 4:30, Betsy Lane and Lawrence County, and at 6, Shelby Valley and Belfry. And I'll follow that, of course, and have your schedule throughout the remainder of the tournament on tomorrow night's program. I'll leave you with the short and oh so sweet of the forecast tonight, which includes some sunshine and some much nicer temperatures, much like today and even better, accompanied by a little rain here and there. The good news is, well, some of the good news is that with a few more days of this, that snow that is just hanging on in a few shaded places, like right outside the door of my office, is going to have to finally be gone. Now, wait till the middle or latter part of next week, as colder air comes back. But that's as far as I'm going to go with that for now. Nevertheless, a milder low this evening of 30 degrees under cloudy skies, becoming gradually partly cloudy during the overnight. Now that will set us up for a Friday that is beyond compare if you try to take into account the previous many Fridays. We'll see 55 degrees. It's a sure bet, I think. Sunny skies above, a low right at freezing tomorrow night, clear skies late, and your weekend looks to be as follows. We might even do a little better than 57 before Saturday's all over. It's going to be mostly sunny at the onset and throughout the afternoon. That 30% chance of some showers isn't until really after midnight Saturday night into Sunday morning. That's when clouds are going to increase and that chance of showers is going to roll through. The good news is that chance of showers into Sunday is very small, and it's out of here very early. A 10% chance of some lingering showers, a pretty narrow window for them, before 7 o'clock. We'll start to clear, see partly sunny skies, some cooler air, 48, 49 degrees for your daytime high. We'll drop back down to 30 or maybe even a tick or two below on the old thermometer. And then thereafter, sunshine returns on Monday, and so does the upper 50s and 60s into midweek. Enjoy it because, like I said, cold air is then around the corner. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my time. Thank you, as always, for being a part of it. I'm off to the Expo highlights tomorrow night, and more news you'll only see right here with me on Your News Today. For now, thank you for watching, and have a good night.